Hi, I'm Joanne Pollock, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Peaceful Place Suite collection in the July to December 2021 mini catalog. This is the collection. The Peaceful Place Suite collection includes one of each of these items if you order it with the one number. First, I'm going to show you the stamp set. There are 11 cling stamps in here with a coordinating die set. Here are the stamps. And this is a distinctive stamp, so I've labeled it as distinctive. And it's red rubber. And here are the matching dies. You get 13 dies. And I've cut them out for you. And I want to show you the difference. Here you stamp the cabin and then use the one die to cut it out, which is this one. So you can see how it nicely matches up. But if you want to get this look, you use the outline die and then you pop in the little detail die. And it cuts all of these extra pieces out. So you can put something behind there, make it shiny, whatever you can think of to do. Not only does it do it for the cabin, it does it for the trees also. So here, you can just cut out the trees. It's stamped, it's beautiful. But you can also use these pieces and it cuts the holes in the trees. So you could put, red paper behind it and have them all decorated, or silver and have it all shiny, whatever you think of. One interesting feature about this bundle is if you sign up to be a demonstrator during Celebration, you can get this free. I would jump at that. Okay, the next item I'm going to talk to you about is the snowy white velvety sheets. They are so soft. It's too bad you can't feel them. Can you hear my hand? Oh, I can't wait to use these. They will be beautiful snowbanks, and I might have to pull out some snowflakes from another stamp set to play with these, just because it's fun. The next item is the Timber 3D embossing folder. And this is the folder. It requires the specialty plate. So you have your base plate, the embossing folder with paper in it, and then the specialty plate on top. And I die cut our embossed one to show you. So you can see all of that detail in there. Then we also have the sequins. How fun are these? They're two sizes, 3mm and 4mm. Matte silver, matte white, metallic silver, and pearl white. Oops, don't have that in the camera again. I think I'm going to have to make a shaker card. Not that that's a problem. I love shaker cards. This ribbon is what all of the demonstrators in my group were talking about getting. Look at how pretty this is. It's just like the black organdy ribbon, but white, and it's got iridescent sparkles in it. I hope you can see that. It's so pretty. And then what really sold me on the set, this paper. Oh my goodness, look at that. This is the Peaceful Place 12x12 Specialty Designer Series paper. And it's got basic black, basic gray, and smoky slate in it. I'll show you each of them. So here's the first one, and look at all those snowflakes in the sky. This is gonna be gorgeous. I know exactly how I'm gonna use this sheet. And then here's the back. Has nothing to do with Christmas on the back. Neutral, be great for a masculine card. This one is dying to be cut into 6x6 squares. And look at that gorgeous foil on there. And another neutral background, this time with trees on it. Love this one too. I think it's snowflakes. I love snowflakes. So look at those shiny, the tiny little ones are so shiny in there. Oh, so gorgeous. And then a nice plaid background. This one is foiled with, it looks kind of like the Timber 3D embossing folder. And then pine trees on the back. This one could look like snow falling or splatters or rain falling. I mean, if you do it this way. And then I love the little cabins on the back with the cute little fox. This sheet is dying to be made into card fronts. You just cut here, cut 4 by 5 1/4 or however tall you want to make your card. But oh, so pretty. And just a neutral background. So that is the Peaceful Place Suite collection. I can't wait to get started on some projects. Hi again. Well, I'm back. I have been playing with the Peaceful Place Suite for about a week now, and I'm going to show you what I've come up with. I made this shadow box card, and I was going for just the whites and grays. I love that about this suite and how calming it is. This is a bit of an oversized card, so I'll have to make my own envelope for it. These two I was playing around with the Northern Lights technique. I didn't quite like how it came out, so I made 2. It's like, okay. But I still think they're kind of pretty, and I did it on shimmery white. I thought it blended better on there, and then it gives it, you know, the stars in the background. And of course, had to make a shaker card. And I even glued some in the background, and then there's always some that stick. I don't know why. I even put powder along the edges, but I thought that was pretty. And I put the foil sheets behind this to give it some sparkle too. And then I made a center step card. So you can see how that is. And this that's what I used. And if you want to take a screenshot, here are my measurements. And then I also made this card. It's, I don't actually know what it's called. But I was watching Sam at Mixed Up Craft, and she made a bigger version of this with more panels, and so I modified it to fit into one of our envelopes, and I'm going to show you how to make this one. So first, this paper is 4 1/4 by 7, and I scored it 1.5 inches from each side. And then you take one of the insides. This is 5 inches by 4 1/4, and it's scored from 1/2 inch on each side. This step is 5 inches by 2 1/4, scored at 1/2 inch from each side. And the final one, 5 inches by 1.5, scored at 1/2 inch from each side. And so then we'll get that stamping done. I love using my Stamparatus for this. And we're going to use basic gray ink. I'll start with the sentiment. And we'll clean that off. Then I'm going to go to the fox. And clean that one off. And then we have the trees, which go on the big one here because they're pretty tall. And I like to stamp this a few times to get all of the detail. So there we go. And then the fox and the trees need to be die cut. And I have done that for you, so you don't have to wait for me to die cut those. Although I will do this so I don't get ink on anything, except my fingers probably. Okay, so here's our back. Here's the first one, this back one, and here's the middle. Now, what you're gonna do is take this piece, put it right up against the edge, and then mark where those meet on both sides. And then you will cut from here to here to get a diagonal, which I've already done for you. And so then it's really just assembling. So put your adhesive on the back, line that up, and then I prefer to use a liquid glue with this to give me a little bit of time to set. Oh, there it is. Remember not to use too much of this one because it stays sticky when it dries. You don't want it squirting out. Okay, so I'm gonna stick it in, bring up the sides, and then fold it side to side, getting it to align at the bottom. Oops, I had it a little high up. Okay, and then it's time for our little fox. We have fox in the backyard. Drives our dog crazy. And we will just stick that in right on top so that it aligns at the bottom. Move it back and forth a couple of times to get those nice edges. And then this one, I am actually going to cut just a little bit off each side. Just a tiny bit so that it will go in well. Because you've got the bulk of all of the folds. So it will tend to come up a little bit if you don't do that. And then stick that in. Oh, actually, I might not have had to cut off as much on this one. Line it up with the front. And then fold over here. And then fold this way. And there you go. And then I also did some Wink of Stella on it just to make the shimmer. You can see that a little bit better on here because, well, I haven't done it. And then I have a couple more cards to show you that I made out of the same suite. This one, I just wanted to use the pretty background. I stamped the fox in there and glued some of the sequins on and just stamped my greeting right onto the front. Again, focusing on the pretty paper in this pack. I used the gorgeous ribbon that comes with it and just tied it around, edited it on. I didn't really even feel like it needed a sentiment. This one is if you're not sending it at Christmas. So I stamped the house and colored in the roof. Then I die cut a mask for it out of Post-it note paper and stamped the trees behind. And I colored it in with the blending brushes with Balmy Blue and Pear Pizzazz. And anything that was a little close and didn't stamp where I had the mask, I just used the Garden Green Stampin' Right marker to fill that in. And then I pulled in the eagle from the Reflections in Nature stamp set. Here's another one where I used the 3D embossing folder, the timber one, and I also used the evergreen embossing folder, and I went just simple on here with it stamped in early espresso. Here's another showing the beautiful paper. I used the foiled blend like the timber, the wood grain, and then I just love all of these little houses in here. Some more of the ribbon, and then a sentiment to finish it off. This one I stamped on the velvet paper using StazOn. That was 3 times stamping to get a good image, but it's so fuzzy. And these are paper that I put on it and then layered the paper in the background. And this is actually the first card I made, where I wanted to use as much of that paper as I could. And this is actually my first slimline card. And I got the idea from Wendy Young Waldman. When I even did the inside, look at that. I was so ambitious that first day. And I used the wonderful snowflakes. And put a few extra sequins around to make it even more shimmery with the silver foil. And this is not actually using anything but the velvet sheets. I pulled out the poinsettia dies just to create one. I used the velvet sheets and I used the dazzling celebration paper. I thought that was gorgeous. I haven't made a card out of it yet, but it's just so pretty and so soft. Well, thank you for joining me for Demos Galore. I hope to see you again.